welcome back to my channel. Let me see, because that's the second time that I record this training, so let me see if I'm out of focus or not. I think it's okay. So today I'm going to talk about how to launch like a pro. Last week I was working my whole week into planning the whole strategy of one of my clients. So I'm going to explain everything that I did for free. Okay, so the center of this launch was training. So let's start. So before we start, actually, let me sip a bit of water. Okay, and let me say who I am. Okay, so I'm Miriam Paino. I work as a business coach for companies who sell their knowledge, education. So think about coaches, think about nutritionists, psychologists, people who sell courses, programs, you name it. Okay, group programs. So today I'm going to talk about what are the key things to create a launch, a successful launch, and what are the trends that I have been seeing, and things that you can see. So behind the essence of launching something, okay? So first thing that I'm going to say is that when we launch, generally there's like a center of the launch. So for this case, it's a webinar. That's a type of style. So let me start writing, okay? So hopefully you can read my words here on the whiteboard. If not, don't worry, because I'm going to always say what I'm writing. How to launch like a pro. That's the name of today's training, okay? So when we talk about launching, there's one thing that we need to think, and is we need time, okay? So let's say we are launching a group program. So think at least 6 weeks, okay? 4, 6, 8 weeks in advance, okay? Generally, when we launch, there's something for free, okay? Let's say that's a funnel. Funnel is the path that your customer needs to take before they buy, okay? So generally, when we talk about a launch, people offer something for free. So for example, in this case, in my client's case, we offer them a webinar. So I'm inviting everyone to join the webinar through Facebook ads, Google ads, through my email list, through social media, to join the webinar. The goal is that we get enough people here. That's what we call top of the funnel, okay? Because we know that, not so many people will go to the webinar, and that not so many people will buy the actual offer that we have for them, okay? So the goal is to have a lot of people that subscribe, that register, let's say, for the webinar, okay? So before I talk about my client's case, let me talk about some trends that I have been seeing, okay, when we launch. So right now, okay, there's no way that so again, it can work. So there's two type of offers. Let's start with that. We have evergreen offers and limited offers. So what I'm doing for this client is what we call limited offer. So it's only available during those 3-4 times a year, okay? And we always do a launch. Basically, we warm up the audience for them to join. So before that, I think that's the first time that she does a webinar, at least with me as my client. So she did different ways, okay? But what I wanted to emphasize is that we have two types of offers. The evergreen's an offer that's throughout the year, and launches, okay? So an offer that is not available throughout the year. So what I have been seeing as a business coach is that generally launching is really successful. Why? Because if you have something there during the whole year available for you, so it's like there's not enough friction generally to buy, because you could say, okay, let's buy it next month. If we have like a period of time to buy something and it's not available in the next 3 months, even 1 year sometimes, it creates, an emphasis to buy right now, okay? And then if we add bonuses, we add like a limited time offer, or some sort of urgency sense, it will work basically. Okay, so it all comes down to, if you have evergreen, an offer that's evergreen, that is not working, so a course that you have there that you want to promote and it's not working, we have 2 options here. Or we convert that evergreen offer to a launch offer, meaning that it's only available like twice a year, for example, or we talk about it more and we show them the real benefits of that course, okay, if that's your case. Okay, having said that, so as I said, we need 4, 6, 8 weeks in advance. In this case, I'm doing it like for 5 weeks in advance. I think it wasn't, yeah, 5 weeks in advance. So in this case, as I said, the goal is to get a lot of people on top of the funnel, okay? So for that, okay, we are utilizing her current community. So we are talking about 20K people. So this offer is really a specific offer. So I'm counting that maybe 1/3 of the audience will relate to the offer because she has different offers, different products. So it's not for the whole community. So I'm counting that 1/3 of the 20K people will be our ideal audience in that case. Then I have Facebook ads that I'm running and Google ads. Okay, Google ads. So for Facebook ads, okay, for Google ads, let's start with that one. For Google ads, I haven't seen right now, and it would be really cool that at the end of this launch, I tell you about results, revenue, how much money did we spend, etc. I think that would be really cool. For Google ads, I haven't seen a lot of success, basically promoting the webinar. I think Google Ads works really well to promote directly the offer, because if someone is typing those words, generally it's what we call like a warm lead, someone who has, well, an interest lead, because that's like someone who has interest, is currently searching for that, so it's amazing, right? So I think Google Ads, in my opinion right now, what I have been seeing, works really well when we want to sell them something directly, right? And we can capture their contact info through the actual page of the product or the offer, okay? That's at least what I would do. Facebook ads, it has been working really well, okay? So Facebook ads, we have so many people basically that came through Facebook ads, and I'm going to talk about the strategy that I recommended to my client, and it's basically 60% of the budget is for retargeting. Retargeting means people who already know us, like it could be people who have seen our Facebook page or customers, etc. 30% of the budget is lookalikes. Let me one sec. And then 10% it's cold audience. So someone who it's not a lookalike. So it's more like if you go to the settings on that Facebook ad, that Facebook campaign, it would be broad, basically. I think I have a bit of settings like age, what age am I looking for, man, woman, country, but it's really broad, okay? So what's a lookalike? There's something on Facebook, and if you don't know how to find it, I'm sure chat or typing on Google, you will find it. Basically, if you go to custom audiences, like you can create your own audience. So if you upload, for example, your database as a CSV, Facebook will create a lookalike audience, and you can let him know, okay, I want a 1% lookalike audience, 4%, 5%, I think it goes to 10% of more or more. If you click, for example, 1%, it will be really close, really similar to your database, basically. And if you open it to your full percent, it will be wider. So I'm talking about millions of people here, but less precise. So it's all about balance here. But I have seen great results with this strategy. So if I were you, I would copy that, okay? Okay, more things. So again, here I have the Facebook ads coming in from Facebook leads. Then we have Google ads, our current community. So with our current community, what I recommend you is that you create like 8-9 emails, okay, that talk about that. So there's no need that every email, okay, those 8-9 emails talk about only about my offer. No, you can, for example, write a reflection, something that happened throughout the week, and then connect it back to your offer. Something that you have experienced and connect it back to your offer. You can always add at the end, PS, I have this program launching, blah, 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 and you will all get these bonuses, blah, blah, come to the webinar. Well, for the 8-9 people actually, let's move everyone to the webinar. So say that you're launching a webinar, explaining X, Y, and Z, it's for free, just for the community, blah, 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 blah. So I would focus on the webinar, because again, the goal what is to have a lot of people in the, when we call top of funnel here, because we know that the more we have here, the more we will have here. It's a numbers game, basically. So it's really key, and especially in her case, that she has 20K people there. It's really important that we try to utilize them, basically. Okay, so I would send them 8-9. What more things can I tell them? I will talk about past testimonials. people who have seen me speak, people who have been to my webinars before, if I have done others, people, results from past testimonials that have done my courses, my programs. I have a user at A9 to at least 3 of them talk about results. Results from attendees, results from past clients, you name it. The rest could be reflection, show your values, show curiosity, things, things that are funny about you, why you are the expert. You can do a mix, basically. Okay, so I have talked a bit of utilizing the community, okay? Okay, but what are the things, Mireia, that I don't see about a launch? If it's your first launch, you will see that there's a lot of things going on that you don't see, okay? And you will see it's a lot of work, and people do this in advance. So do not get overwhelmed. So people do this like 2-3 months in advance, generally. So again, we are on the Launch Like a Pro training, okay? So I want you to be a pro at this, because you can make some money through your own knowledge. If you're a business owner, if you have a team, please ask the team to watch this training. Let's talk about automations, okay? Okay, so automations. One super key for automation that we have is coming from Facebook. So a lead comes from Facebook. They go to the CRM, one sec, and then they receive email one. Let me explain these automations. You can do all of the automations I'm going to list here through Zapier. Please screenshot these, because it's like the best software. Okay, let's say someone fills out a form. So on Facebook, generally, you can create ads that go to a form, to a website, or you make them choose, basically. So a lead form is that they do not go, so they will stick to inside Facebook and they will fill out a form, okay? They will not see your landing page that you have created for the offer, the webinar, etc. They will not see it. They will only see a lead form. I did a lead form with that client. Why? Because it's a great way to qualify a lead. I don't want like thousands and thousands of people who left their contact there without answering them some questions that for me it filter people, okay? Because I want a lot of people who are my clients' customer audience. I don't want like a lot of people who are, random people. That's not the goal, because then it's not going to work in terms of numbers. Okay, so generally what I do is I create a lead form. There's like 3-4 questions, and then what I do is basically I have a look, especially at the beginning, what people answered, etc., to see if they qualify. If I see that there's a lot of people who answer like things that do not relate to my customer audience, there's something in the ads that basically it's attracting the wrong audience, so I need to change. In that case, it was a success. So everyone who started filling out the form answered the questions the way that I was hoping. So it was like amazing. So one automation is someone comes from Facebook, fills out the form, it goes to a CRM. What's a CRM? CRM is where we store our contacts. Generally, CRM is where the software that we use generally to send emails. So it could be MailerLite, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot. So generally we store the context info plus the plus we send them emails from there too. Sometimes it's separate, depends on where you are. So after, immediately we will send them, hey, I'm glad you're in, you have registered for the webinar, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it would be one automation, super simple. Another automation, someone comes from Google Ads. They go to my specific landing page or website that I have created for the webinar or for the offer, whatever. And then they fill out the form or something. That I'm assuming there's a form there. I'm save their info to my CRM and then start sending emails. It's really important, okay, that after email 1, there's a sequence of emails. I'm thinking the same as we discussed before, 8-9 emails that talk about the webinar, talks about you. Keep in mind that some people that will be here, they don't know about you. So what can I present to them about me, my values, how I work, past results, testimonials, reflections? They need to get to know you. Remember that, known, like, trust. If you can achieve this trifecta, they will buy from you if they are your ideal, obviously, if they are in need. But if they know you, like you, and trust you, so think, okay, how can I achieve that through emails? Easy. And again, if you have questions, I'm always for you, so let me know below. Okay, so as you can see, there's too many automations, really simple, that are happening, and then the email sequence needs to be automated too. So they receive like email 1, hey, I'm glad that you registered, I'm glad you're in, blah blah blah, and they receive 8-9 emails. Again, the goal for those 8-9 is know, like, trust. Okay, enough for them to buy you. And again, let's talk about another thing. Let's say we are 5 days before the webinar. Okay, in that case, that will be my client's case. So 5 days before the webinar, that's what I call reminder time. So we need to remind them because people have so much going on. Let's say we are 5 days, okay? Let me explain it. 1 sec, 0. So those are the emails that I would send to them 5 days before. So 5 days before the webinar, I would send them 1 reminder. 3 days before, I will send them 1 reminder. 2 days before, 1. 1 day before, 1. And then on the same day, I will send them twice. Why? Because people have so much going on. If you're training at 11 a.m. ET, there's no need to send them maybe two reminders. But if you are doing a webinar at 7 p.m. ET, maybe it's interesting to send them 1 reminder at 7 a.m. and another one at 6 p.m. Okay? So how do you get the whole, I don't want you to get overwhelmed, but there's so many things going on a launch. Okay? So, especially email-wise. So what do we do with my social media, Mireia, right? Because it seems like everything is happening through emails or through automation, but basically emails. On social media, people want to feel a bit, basically they want consistency. So if I'm talking everywhere about my offer, they want to see the same on social media. So what are the things that I should be talking, okay? 1 month in advance. I should be talking about testimonials. So if you can get your clients, attendees, from other offers, specifically if that's for the same offer, that would be ideal. Record like a short clip of them talking about their experience, what they achieve with you, X, Y, and Z. That would be awesome. So it would be testimonials, transformation, why this program is the shit, basically, why you need to go with you, and especially talk about who is in need. What is the audience that you want? What are the people that you want there? It's not for everyone, so you need to be really precise. Okay, who am I trying to attract? So when we do talk about transformations, the main benefits of working with you through that offer, be precise. Who are you looking for? And you can say it's not for everyone. It's for someone who is experiencing X, Y, and Z. Okay, because that's the key. If you talk to everyone, no one will relate to that. You need to be really specific. So your social media calendar, okay, could be a mix of testimonials, transformation, and the known, like, trust. That's what I would do. If you post twice, like 3 times a week, 1, 2, 3. If you post 2 times a day, you could do like one or the other. But it's always like picking testimonials, transformation, or known, like, trust. Okay, it will be really important if you focus on that, because you will know that people buy if they know, like, and trust you. Okay, one thing that I wanted to also specify is that when we talk about launching, 2 type of launches that I have seen online. The first one is the one that I just mentioned, the webinar style. So webinar style is that we move everyone to a webinar. So my goal is that a lot of people register to my webinar, and then on the webinar, I will sell them something. Okay, so again, 2 things can happen, and again, it would be really cool if I can get like a post, like results from this launch, from my client's launch. But webinar, let's say I get like 3,000 people, 5,000 people. It all comes down to how you sell. If the webinar, how you speak. So it's not all about having enough qualified leads. It's about how you sell, how you present the offer, if you provide them value. So it's really important to have that in mind, okay? So it's not all on the business coaches. It's also how you present, how you sell. So it's really important to have a look at that, at the presentation. Send that to your business coach, send that to someone who can't revise it and say, hey, would you buy this if you were experiencing X, Y, and Z? Or ideally, in a more ideal world, talk to someone who is your specific audience and say, hey, would you buy this? Okay, that would be even better. Another launch that I have been seeing is the WhatsApp group. I don't know how to write this, you can see, of Facebook group. Okay, this type of launch basically, and then challenge. Okay, this type of launch is different to my client's launch, and it's basically we move everyone to a Facebook group. That's more work. Okay, we move everyone to a Facebook group. We keep them warm. We send them something every day, etc. And then we do a challenge. Let's say we go live 4 days in a row talking about something that they learned, like a bit of a challenge. And then on day 5, I do a webinar or a masterclass, and then I sell them something with a sense of urgency, a bonus, whatever you want to call it. So it's different. It's different because it creates a more sense of a community. Okay, but it's a different style, and I have seen also great results. Then for the WhatsApp group, it's a bit different. Some people move everyone to a WhatsApp group. It's less work than a Facebook group. And basically, if you have a small cohort, can work because everyone can talk. Option 1, option 2. Some people use the WhatsApp group so to send them reminders. Okay, that hey, we are doing the challenge, blah, blah, blah. And it's a way of community style, reminder style. So it's a bit different if we compare it to Facebook group. Okay, so I think that's all for now. If you have any questions, let me know below. And again, I will post maybe 1 month, 2 months from now, the results of this launch. It will be really interesting to see the results that I have got, that I achieved for this client. So again, I will see you in my next training. And if you have any questions, I'm always for you. If you need help with launches, you have my contact below. So I will see you very soon.